Good afternoon, folks. Welcome aboard another day of building EV. Well, I've kind of already. I haven't. I've had a bitty couple of days. I found a new bathroom cabinet, so that's on the way. But anyway, on with things today. And so my plan is to try and get that socket wired in down there for the incinerating toilet, which means that I can then get these ones wired in, and I'm gonna take this off and route in a groove for the LED lighting strip there. So then I will be able to get the electrics working. That is my plan. That means no more walls will be planned to come down. So it's kind of a big thing. That is to say, no more walls with sockets in them. Anyway, I took the first wall down, only to find that I didn't actually have to take that one down. So I assumed that maybe I hadn't put screws behind the top one as well. But unfortunately, I was wrong in that. So by the time I've got these undone, then I realised that I had to take the top wall down. So I used my little bracey thing just to give it a bit more stability as I undid it all, and got it down, and that enabled me to take the screws out that are hidden down the side. So I decided to take it outside because routers make a hell of a mess, and I couldn't really be. I didn't think that the vacuum thing would work very well on it. Anyway, I haven't used routers very much, nor has Mike, so I was deciding how to do this. I did various test bits and made messes of that, so that was a good thing. And then I decided that I still needed something to prevent it sort of scratching the surface of the wax finish. So I was going to screw on some carpet, but in the end, then I ended up just using some double-sided sticky tape, which worked well enough. And here I am just bolting down or clamping down the piece of wood that I'm using. I decided not to use a spirit level simply because that was metal, and I thought I'd have to clamp it too tightly. I thought I might just dent the surface of the wood. So I didn't have a piece of a router bit that was the right size, so I had to use a thinner bit and move the guide, and then do it all again. And yeah, well, it broadly speaking seemed to work. So then I could undo everything and take it back in. Oh no, it didn't quite work the second time. Actually, I had to do a third pass. Anyway, third time lucky. So yeah, it was still just about stiff enough that I could move it on my own. So then I had a little chiseling to do just to tidy up the edges, and the ends obviously aren't straight. So I just needed to square them off, and that was relatively easily done. I then realised that I was also going to need some method of getting the cable for the LED out of this channel. So I grabbed a drill and just drilled in at an angle to. Well, you'll see me do it in a minute, I'm sure. This seems to be taking me longer than I thought it would, even at 4 times speed. Everything's recorded at 5 times, and then I multiply it by 4, generally speaking. Then I'm just drilling it in the end cap, and anyway, all good and ready to put it back on. So I realised that I should check that I could see the hole that I'd made. So I just moved the back piece. That one's not actually fixed at the moment. So then it was just a question of re-popping the screws in, which I handily had screwed into the stud work all the way around. Little jiggery pokery with this one. My support didn't really work. I don't know quite why. So I decided that I should just kind of figure it out, and it was very easy once I decided that I wasn't going to use the support and I was just going to have to brace it with my hand. So anyway, I put the lower wall back in. There's a gap underneath this, which I did for ventilation purposes, without really thinking about it. There's the bed going here, so obviously that isn't going to help very much. But anyway, it was an idea. I really should have just kept the lower walls at full height, and then drilled holes in them with a hole saw. That would have been a better plan than keeping them a bit short and lifting them up in various places. But anyway, as you can see, I've been wiring up the final sockets, so they're almost done at this point. And yeah, just a question of I realized that I needed an extra back box for the single socket. I don't know why, but I'm a couple of single back boxes short and a couple of double sockets over. So I can only think that I changed my mind on something, or just totted it up wrong when I was doing the order. Anyway, it's easily solved. So this is the I threaded this one through, having taken down the back wall socket. So this was where the sort of the decision was finally made. Yeah, anyway, you've seen me wire sockets often enough. I did most of them back a little while ago. Not very complicated. And well, I made my joke about it shocking people. I can't remember. There was a joke about people think that I'm not an electrician. It's shocking, or some such. I made that joke before. So for those, I'm up to over 400 subscribers these days. Gosh, there's probably twice as many of you as when I last made that joke. So half of you, if you hadn't heard it before, I hope not anyway. But this is the final socket going in, and the battery ran out just as I was doing this one, so it shut down before you got to see the final moments of this. But anyway, it's all done and working now, so I'll just leave you here. Well, I think that'll be a short one this time, but the channel is routed in there, and there's a hole in there to feed the cable for the LEDs. I'm going to have to do something the other side of that wall with regard to the controller for it. But as you can see, there was a Hoover plugged in there. All of the sockets, well, at least the ones that I've tested, they all work. So that feels like progress, and then I shall go and get bits to finish off the cupboards tomorrow. Take care, everybody.